I kind of dug myself a hole with this. I made the decision to do this series, and now I've got a commitment. Now, if you recall, I decided to build a biome in every single build. Wait, attempt 2. What was I gonna say? Attempt 3. If you recall, I decided to build a house in every single Minecraft biome. Oh, thank goodness. And yes, I'm ashamed to admit that both of those were, in fact, real mistakes. I'm not a comedic genius, I am just an idiot. Either way, last episode we built this delightful little house in the plains with, of course, a fully functioning interior, and obviously none of this could be done without my friend the idiot donkey. And here he is now, in fact, and I believe he's found us the perfect new biome to build in today. And that biome is, of course, the Sunflower Plains biome, which is basically a plains biome with a bunch of sunflowers in it. Oh, how exciting, isn't it lovely? So I decided to get straight on with the building, and this time I was actually recording, which is quite wonderful. But I started laying down a circle of stone bricks, and this would be the foundation of a tower that will be on the side of the building. And after decorating with some mossy stone bricks, I decided to add some wooden supports for detail. I then went ahead and added some stairs and trapdoors to create this nice little arch down there. And then I swiftly realised I didn't build it up high enough. So I've finished that, I've sorted that out, and now I've repeated the whole thing around the entire outside, and it looks quite lovely. I even put these nice little knobbly bits poking out there. That was a really weird choice of word, but wonderful, lovely, riveting. And here I started building up the walls of this little tower, and I used oak planks because honestly I simply couldn't help myself. Such a riveting and exhilarating block choice. I would like to take this moment to formally apologise to any headphone users whose eardrums I just completely annihilated. But on the other hand, oak planks, I mean, what can I say? They're oak planks. Oak planks aside, I started building it up a little bit, and, well, it does look remarkably tower-like, which is a good thing, but it also looks, well, remarkably boring, which is, well, that's a bad thing. So, in an attempt to make it look less remarkably boring, I decided to add these little, stripped oak log thingies, and, well, they turned out pretty good, actually. They made the build look much less remarkably boring, which I'm quite happy with. I then went ahead and added these little dark oak fence pole thingies in. I don't know why, I just kind of wanted to. I wasn't quite sure how this was going to turn out. I was quite unsure. And, well, if I'm honest, well, it turned out like this. And, yeah, it's kind of bad. Is it bad? I can't tell if it's bad. I think it might be bad. You know, I'll keep it in. I'll see where it goes later on. So I threw some windows in, and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. In fact, I think it might be good. This is good. This is pretty good. I like this. I like where this is going. Yeah, this is good. And now it's even more good because I added a second layer. This is shaping up quite nicely. And with the addition of the third layer, I think, yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. I mean, this bit here is kind of bad, but that is because I have a plan. But before any plans are enacted, I'm just gonna do this real quick. I'm just gonna, replace a few of these blocks with yellow terracotta to create a nice little colourful accent between the walls and the roof. Now I think that turned out quite well. It looks quite good up there, doesn't it? But yeah, with that out the way, it's time to engage in the plan. That sounded horribly sinister, and for that I can only apologise. In fact, it's the opposite of sinister. I built this cute little windmill on top of the tower, and I think it looks quite nice. You know what else looks quite nice? The roof I'm about to build. Let's get onto that, why don't we? However, I must warn you of a habit I have when it comes to building, and that habit is, well, making the roofs of any circular structure incredibly tall. And as you can see with a few of these examples, well, sometimes I just don't know when to stop. and it just keeps going and going and going. But this is not a problem that I intend to address today. And I don't know about you, but this structure looks pretty circular to me. And surely it would be such a disservice to not give it my standard circular building roof treatment, wouldn't it? And so it is with great pleasure that I turn to reveal yet another And so it is with great pleasure that I turn to reveal another cylindrical building with a disproportionately large roof to add to my collection of cylindrical buildings with disproportionately large roofs. And as you can see, as you may have noticed, I also decided to rework the windmill because, well, it kind of looked a bit bad before. It looked a bit weird. And, yeah, I also got a bit carried away and added a big old vine that goes around the tower because, you know, as they say in the professional world of building, the best way to make a build feel alive is to put something alive on it. Yep, stunning. And with that, we saw majestically off the peak of our disproportionately large roof. And you can see that the tower is done. I apologise for the laggy footage, by the way. But now I believe it's time to extend the building and take it back to basics. Get it? Because it's the base of the building. Moving swiftly onwards onto what I would consider the pinnacle of human creation. I didn't know what to do in this section, so you're just gonna have to listen to me say the names of all the blocks I'm placing. Yeah, this is something. I didn't know how to fill this segment. So this is the vibe we're going with. This is the mood. This is what's happening. It's probably really cringe. Sorry, but you know that's just the way things are. It's just that's just how it is. Yeah, fabulous. That simultaneously managed to be the worst and best thing I've ever created ever. Lots and lots and lots of work later, and now it's time to actually start working on the roof, and that of course begins with this lovely little yellow separation and these little knobbly bits there. I really need to come up with a better name for those. Oh, I also added this little stair block by the top of the arches just to make them seem a little bit more round. Now it's time to actually start working on the roof, and of course this is going to take forever, so I'm not going to show all of it, but you do get this little snippet here. And of course I'm using dark oak planks just as I did before. Now, as I said, I am not going to show all of this, so with the power of editing, I shall now cut to when the roof is done. Wow, that cut was incredible. The power of editing sure is cool, huh? But you know what else is cool? This roof I just built. And it also appears to be remarkably tall. Perhaps that's just kind of like the vibe. Perhaps that's just part of my style. I don't know. But yeah, also, if you look down here, I made the kind of frame work a bit more domed, which for some reason I forgot to do beforehand. And that's not the only change I made. I also, if you fly up this really tall roof, added a lantern on top, just because I thought it would look nice. Isn't it wonderful? Now it's time for a very quick montage. I didn't want to show all of these steps already because I've done them a million times. I told you this montage would be very quick because, surprise, it's over already. Wow, that was an incredibly quick montage. Anyway, look at this. I built this wall up, and I think it looks quite nice. If you zoom out here, I'm going to kind of have this a little bit protruding outwards. Yeah, that's coming along quite nicely. I like that. Yeah. Stone, logs, stairs, trapdoors, and of course the absolutely riveting oak planks. To be fair, we've done this formula so many times there is nothing left riveting about it. So I built up the walls a little bit more, and well, I think I kind of went overboard with the vines, and oh goodness, that honestly looks horrific. Oh, thank goodness that got removed very quickly. You can also probably notice that I changed the shape of the windows because, well, those are actually 5 block segments instead of 3, so, you know, I just kind of thought wider windows would look good. And we've added the vine back in, actually, but this time, it's not huge, it's just one little vine, and I think that's the way it should be, because, well, the other one was just overkill, wasn't it? And now you can see we've brought in this nice little separation at the top of that wall there. But funnily enough, that's not because we're adding a roof in this time, that's because we're adding a third floor. Funnily enough, this one's out of birchwood. Truly riveting. Well, as you can see, I've filled that wall in, and I've kind of gone with a bit of a different formula than the walls beforehand. And you can also see that it kind of overhangs a little bit, and that's because I want to give it a bit of a Tudor effect. And that Tudor effect is going to be carried through with the roof that is about to appear with the magic of editing. However, for whatever reason, I was compelled to do this type of roof, and here are a few examples of times I've done it on other buildings. But, well, I guess I'm just kind of cursed to build really disproportionately large roofs. Because, well, this is a pretty big roof.
Big roof.
Brother of mine, why are you here?
Big roof.
Okay.
Big roof!
Oh my. Either way, I think it's safe to say this roof is a certified big lad. Why did I say that? I mean, like, that was such a weird thing to say. I should just, like, sit in a corner and just, like, never speak words again. Anyway, at last, that's the exterior of this building finally done, which is really quite exciting, because it looks quite good, if you ask me. As you can see, I've added and changed around a few bits, such as this big old chimney with a big old vine, because, you know, we love big old vines here, they look wonderful. And as you can see, I've also finished the back, which, you know, that's really quite an accomplishment for me, because I often struggle with finishing the backs of buildings, because, you know, first rule of Minecraft is don't dig straight down, and the second rule of Minecraft is never look at the back of someone's Minecraft house, because it's never a good idea. Apart from this one turned out really quite lovely. And as you can see, I've also added this kind of curve in the top of the roof section here, just to, you know, to add a bit more visual interest, you know, to add a nice little shape up there. I think that looks really quite wonderful. Now that's the exterior done, and now it is time, with the power of editing, to cut to the house tour. So this is what I managed to come up with, and I think it looks really quite wonderful. So if you come down here, we've got this wheat garden of sorts with a couple custom trees and sugarcane to serve as reeds, and obviously a bridge that goes over this nice little stream down there, and as well as some kind of hanging lanterns, which I think those lampposts turned out really well. Now this path doesn't really lead to anything at all, but you know, you do have that nice little sunflower field, which I think looks quite nice as well. Now if you come up here and into the main entrance hall, you can see that this house is significantly more grand in terms of the way I decided to decorate it. So as you can see, you've got some armor stands and a big map with the house in the centre of it. And now if you come up here, you can see the whole kind of entrance hall splits off into two sides at the end. Now here, it's quite simple really, you just have a chair and a big old bookcase. They're going to be quite common throughout this entire building. And obviously up here is the staircase to the second floor, but we're not going to see that yet. That will be later, because first we need to see the kitchen. So down here you have a table and a chair, and up here obviously we have this kind of work surface here with some cupboards at the top, and obviously here you have a kind of cabinet and the oven down there, and you can also see I went with kind of a checkered floor, classic. You have some chests in the cabinet for storage. So yeah, that's the kitchen. If you come through here, you can see we've kind of got this random corridor. I don't know why, I just thought we needed something here and I didn't know what to do. So you can see we've got another one of those big old bookcases, some vegetation and paintings, as well as some patterns in the floor using glazed terracotta. Now through here, I didn't particularly know what to do. There's only so much you can do with a long 3x3, well not 3x3, a long 3 wide corridor. So I did that, and I think it turned out alright. However, here is the living room. As you can see, we've got a nice couch with a coffee table. The couch is made of wood, we don't question that. And also some shelves, some bookshelves, and another storage unit filled with chests, so you can put, you know, whatever you like in there, whatever you do to live in your living room. Get my pun? I'm so funny. Well, it wasn't really a pun, it was just stupid. Either way, up here is the bedroom, which is awfully cozy. You know, you've got some bookshelves, which is quite wonderful, and some shelves up there, another kind of cabinet. And here you've got the bed, which looks wonderfully bright and comfortable. Now down here you have essentially an identical corridor because, like I said, there's only so much you can do with a three wide corridor. So basically recycle the design. But if you come through here, you will find yourself in the landing, this kind of second floor corridor. So I put lots of vegetation down. I don't know why I did that. I just kind of do that whenever I don't know how to fill a space. Now down here is the staircase that kind of leads into the entrance corridor that I mentioned earlier, and also a big old bookcase. Speaking of bookcases, here is the library, which is one of my favourite rooms in the entire house, because, you know, you've got lots of bookshelves, and, you know, it's just quite cozy in here. You know, you've got a big old seating area, nice chandelier there, and a coffee table, and of course a big fireplace, which is probably my favourite part about this entire room, to be honest. Now through here is the games room, which I think turned out quite well. So you've got, you know, some paintings on the walls, and some shelves with flowers on them, and obviously a big old snooker table, which I think turned out incredibly well. We've also got a chess board there, and a darts board on the wall as well in the form of a target block. Now through here is the bathroom, which I think turned out significantly better than the one in the Plains house. So obviously you've got your toilet, you've got your sink there with some green candles for whatever reason, and of course the shower or bath. It kind of doubles up as both, which I'm quite a fan of. Now if we return to the library, you can see that there's this big spiral staircase that I didn't exactly mention earlier. However, if we go up it, we will land ourselves in another landing. I'm just so funny. Also, I did something a little bit silly, and now this happened. So, I procrastinated a little too much, and now I'll be doing the rest of this voiceover from a real-life Plains biome. So that's why if you hear any birds or that river that's over there, it's because I'm lazy. Sorry. Anyway, here we are in the landing with this nice little couch there just to sit on and look at your staircase. I don't know why I put it there, it's just a full space really. And then in this tiny little room that serves no real purpose, I have another tiny little couch and a few tiny little bookshelves. Everything recently has been quite tiny, don't know why that is. But that room takes us into the study, which is less tiny. So obviously that has a nice little seat there, another storage cabinet with some chests inside, obviously a big old bookshelf because you could never have enough of those, and lastly you have the desk with a nice old chair there. Now I do wonder what these books say. Subscribe. Huh, that's interesting. And this one says, no, seriously, subscribe, I really need this. What a desperate loser, am I right? So yeah, that was the study, and if we go through this door here, this takes us into just a little corridor for storage really. There wasn't much that I could do here. You've just got some chests and some barrels and a few dead plants, and a couple living ones too. They're not all dead, but it's a bit dark, and I mean there aren't any windows, but it's fine. And then through here is actually quite an interesting and unique room. This is the mechanism that would turn the windmill, except I kind of had to, destroy a bit of it to put the staircase down into the bedroom in here, but that's fine, it's all good. But yeah, down here is the bedroom from earlier. But yeah, this room, it has some storage with some chests and barrels and some hay. Nothing much really, but yeah. I decided to cut back here to save us from going through the storage room and the study again, but here we are back in this tiny room, and if we go through this door we'll find ourselves in a corridor. Now it's a bit dark because I couldn't really put any windows in, but I did try my hardest considering it's 3 blocks wide, so you know we've got a nice potted plant there, a couple paintings, a big old bookshelf because you can never have enough of those, a seating area. So yeah, that's just about the corridor done. Now through this door we find ourselves in the art studio, which has this kind of table, a painting and a chair, but here it is. Here's kind of the main art studio area, and as you can see you've got some lighting up there, you know, some paintings, a table, and this canvas which took a while to get right, but I think it turned out quite good. Up there you can see you've got some shelves for storage, and also this work surface here. So you've got a sink, that's meant to be a paint palette, you've got a pot to wash your paintbrushes in, and those brown candles are meant to be paintbrushes. I think it's also important that we address the mess that's all over the floor. That is not blood, that is just my attempt at making it look like paint is scattered everywhere. But it looks a bit weird. And also you've got some armor stands for posing mannequins right there. Now through this door, you find yourself in the music room, which I think turned out pretty well. So through here you can see lots and lots of discs all over the walls. I went for a bit more of a modern lighting design. I don't know why, I was just kind of compelled to do that. But here's like the grand piano, that's meant to be the main kind of attraction of this room. And then here's the bookshelf to store all of your musical books in. And now if we cut back to the landing, you may notice this ladder up here that I didn't really address beforehand. And if we go up it and open the trapdoor, you'll see that it leads us into the attic, which despite being one of the hardest rooms to tackle just because of its sheer scale, it actually ended up being one of my favourites. Now you can see that you've got a big old bookshelf over there and lots of room for storage. There's a shelf up there with lots of miscellaneous items. I also decided to make the whole place feel incredibly overgrown, just to make it feel a bit more mysterious than what we had before. Now if we come through here, you can see there's a table, and also surrounded by banners and bookshelves, you've got this enchanting area which just kind of adds to the mysterious feel of this attic space. And over here you can also see that you've got this jukebox and some chairs, and also some extra shelving there as well. It just all feels a bit mysterious, and I kind of like that about this room. Now if you come over here, you can see that we've got this random chair over here, lots of storage space as well, a couple paintings, bookshelves and more paintings. Now if we come up here you'll notice a lectern, and I do wonder what this book says. It says, "Have you subscribed yet? Please sub, please do it, sub please." I mean, the lectern told you to do it, the book said you should do it, so you know, you should probably go ahead and do it, am I right? Either way, that's the attic, and hold on, what on earth is this? I don't know what this room is. It looks like some kind of shrine. This is really weird and kind of creepy. What does this lectern say? It's Shrine of the Idiot Donkey, the 3 Donk Commandments. Thou shalt not create or ingest burgers forged from the meat of the idiot donkey, and thou shalt subscribe to Gifflebunk on YouTube. You know, I like the sound of that second one. That does sound like something that you should go ahead and do, but this is all really weird. There are only 2 donk moments. The idiot donkey is called an idiot for a reason. Yeah, you know what, this is all really weird. I think I'm just gonna leave and pretend that didn't happen. Everything is fine, we're all fine. And that concludes the wonderful house tour of the Sunflower Plains house. Now, this house actually turned out to be one of the better builds I think I've ever done. I'm genuinely incredibly proud of how this thing turned out. I really like the kind of theme, and I like the mood of this build. I just think it turned out really quite lovely. Obviously, it's not difficult to notice that this house is significantly larger than the one for the Plains biome, and I think it's more just experimenting with how big these should be. Obviously, this house did take me a very long time to make, so I do think that the next few houses aren't going to be quite as large as this one, but that's fine. I'm still going to make sure that they turn out looking wonderful. And also, speaking of time, I did put a lot of time and effort into this video, so it would be greatly appreciated if you were to subscribe. Obviously, never feel forced into doing so, but if you did enjoy, make sure to tell me in the comment section down below. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching. Idiot Donkey and I very much appreciate it, and hope to see you in the next video. And of course, have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Rare footage of me actually touching grass. Okay, no, that was weird. 2 out of 10, would not recommend to friends and family.